Right. Good evening, listeners. Welcome to the Property Hour Show live on Star Radio UK. And tonight we coming your way with a very important and very interesting topic tonight. And we have no other person joining me tonight than my co-host Niyi Ajay, and he's a property consultant, and I'm KBA Bossman. And tonight we have a very interesting topic that we've been discussing for the last couple of weeks, and it's got to do with tenants and landlords and tenancy. And it because we sort of tabernacling or sort of staying on this particular topic for a couple of reasons. We've had so much response from people that their voices are not being heard, and so we are privileged tonight also to come your way with a very very experienced estate agent, and who is going to be joining us on the phone shortly. And he is a very vibrant young man, an entrepreneur and a property also a property consultant, also an estate agent, and he's none other than Mr. Kwame Ajay, if he want me to use the word CEO, but I'll get him on the line. We'll get him on the line shortly, and we'll be talking about that. But Niyi, in the last couple of weeks, we've been discussing this particular topic. What's your take on that before we go to the phone line?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. Like you said, we've got so many people offline. I've got a lot of questions in my inbox. Everybody wants to know more about what we discussed last week and 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So we felt, popular demand, we need to bring this back. So there's a lot of questions, and I know we won't have enough time to go through so many questions in the inbox, but I think we're going to tackle as much as we can today.
Sure, and I believe that it's a very hot topic.
Absolutely.
Very hot topic. So let me see if we do have Mr. Kwame Ajay on the line. Hello, Mr. Kwame. Hello, Kwame. Hello, Kwame. I think we've lost Mr. Kwame Ajay. We will get him back on the line, and we'll take it from there. It's going to be great tonight. He's a man that I respect so much, and he knows what he's about. He's also into international real estate as well. So it's going to be very interesting, and we'll take it from there. So we'll take possibly okay. Let me flow with one of the questions that has come through. So before we go on the phone lines, I believe that one of the questions last week that came up, last 3 weeks, was the 12-month deposit and all the stuff, and it's been happening or coming up that some of the landlords are taking advantage of what we call the deposit scheme. So I believe when he comes on board, we'll be able to also discuss that as well. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, what's your take on that? If you do,
on the
on the deposit scheme.
well, it's a very good area, I must say, because there's no law or
I
policies
can't,
actually
I
that
can't, I
guide.
can't hear you guys.
Oh, I think we have guest on the
Oh,
line.
okay. Hello, Kwame.
Oh, I think we
I
lost the
think we've
line.
lost him again. We're facing some technical issues, but then we'll get him on the phone
Sure,
finally.
sure.
That'll be fine. Right, you were making a
Yes.
statement.
So as I was saying, there's no policies to in terms of what uh, landlords can take as for deposit, and you're right. A lot of people are abusing that as well.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Yes, I think we have him back here.
Yes, I think.
Hello.
We have.
Hello.
Yes, I think you can hear me
Yes. Can you hear me, Kwame? Hello, Kwame. Hello, Kwame.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's very, very thin.
It's very faint.
Yes.
Right.
I
Okay. Let me try and see.
and I couldn't hear the other person talking anyway. I mean, your friend, and I couldn't
All
hear
right.
anything.
Hello. Can you hear me now? I don't think you can hear me.
Right. Okay. Kwame, can you hear me? Then possibly
I can
I'll
hear
be
you.
doing all the talking. Oh, great stuff.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Great
I
stuff.
can
I
hear
think.
him anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, I'll be doing all the talking tonight then. That's fine.
Okay.
But good to have you on tonight, Kwame.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. DJY Services Limited.
Yeah.
I presume that's your company. Is it STJ?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. But I hope you're doing well tonight.
Oh, I'm good.
You-
I'm really, really good.
Wonderful. Good. Good. But then also we'll come to that later on with regards to bits and pieces that you do. I'm very much aware that you offer international mortgages as well in Africa and a couple of places. So we'll talk about that later on. So tonight, and are you comfortable for me to address you as the CEO of DJY?
Um, uh, well, I'm just Kwame.
You're just Kwame. I know you say that. Right. Okay. Kwame, once again, welcome to the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK. And tonight, for the couple of weeks, we've been discussing tenants and tenancy and landlords. And you one person I know you're hardworking. You've been dealing with them, all the two sides. I believe they are not enemies, but it gets to a time that you have to resolve issues, isn't it?
Well, definitely, it's part of the game. I'll probably use the word the game. Yeah. Can I use this opportunity to greet your listeners?
Yes, please do go ahead.
Oh, okay. Greetings to everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, we want to talk a little bit about tenants. We know, I mean, some tenants do not, or let me say, majority. I'm saying this based on the response we've had in the last couple of weeks, and some of the text messages that have text messages that have come through, and also on Facebook as well. Majority of the time, tenants most of them looks to be a bit timid about their rights, and you being in that position, dealing with the tenant and also the landlord, the tenant's right. Now, let me move straight. A question that I was asking my colleague here tonight. You know the tenancy deposit scheme,
Yes.
and is it the landlords or the estate agent that is supposed to get that resolved? Is it the landlord or the the estate, you the estate agent?
Yeah, I understand. It depends.
It depends.
It depends on how the transaction was made between the agent,
Right.
the tenant, and the landlord.
Okay.
If the landlord is responsible for the tenant, then the landlord has to be in charge for the deposit protection. The deposit.
Right.
Not for him or her to keep the deposit back, to make sure the deposit is in
A safe place.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, if let's say is it illegal for the landlord to sort of squander that money?
Well, it is. No landlord also ever should keep the deposit on him or her.
Okay.
Well, that is part of the tenant's right.
Right.
If a tenant realizes that you as a landlord has not deposit the money,
Yeah.
the tenant can take you to court and then get 3 times
Okay.
of the deposit. So, of course, if the tenants know they're right, they can be using against the landlord.
The landlord. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause, no deposit. I mean, the minute, let's say for instance, you are the tenant that came to me as a landlord. Let me
Yes.
just use that phrase, all right?
Sure.
And then now, I have actually you like the property or whatever, and now you have to go through it. You're giving me the deposit, okay?
Mm.
So the minute I have the deposit in my hands, by law, I'm responsible for anything that happens to the deposit.
Sure.
So let's say I have it and I don't deposit the money within that same day or 2 days or whatever, and the tenant finds out. The tenant can still do me as a landlord for that, take me to court and get 3 times of the money. So
3
the point I'm
times?
trying to make is, well, yeah. So let's
Oh,
say
wow.
let's say for instance it's £1,000,
Yeah.
for instance, for a month, then the tenant can get £3,000 from
Oh,
you
wow.
as a landlord. So all landlords should be very careful not to hold the deposit.
Mm.
Should be very careful. The deposit must be with the government. The government has to hold it. So then at the end of the tenancy, you as a landlord who is responsible for registering the deposit will now write or email to the deposit protection people.
Yeah.
And then they will now also get back to the tenant to find out if everything is all right. If it's all between before they can release the money to the landlord. So it's not like you put the money in there and you can just go and just take it back. No, it doesn't happen unless the tenant approves. So that's tenant's right. So no tenant should be timid.
That's a very interesting one, Kwame. This will push some nerves and also get some shoulders raised as well.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me now? I can't hear me. I just want to pick.
Oh, okay.
I can hear that you're talking, but very far.
Very far. Okay.
Okay.
Just to add to what you're saying, I think for it's the government policy, for everybody to make sure that you register any deposit that was given to you. If you don't, like he said, it's always going to be 3 times of what the amount should be. So whether whoever is managing the property, whether it's the agent or the landlord, is very important that you do that. I think it's within 28 days that has to be done. And sometimes you can get an insurance as well. You could pay for an insurance. There's a lot of company who offer insurance for your tenant deposit. And I think this is a good idea, because at the end of the day, there's always a problem, an argument when the tenant is moving out of the house. This is broken, that's broken, but it's good to have that kind of money somewhere. So when the tenant is moving out, then the government deposit scheme, they write to the tenant, like he said, make sure everything is all right. If there's a problem there, then the money will be taken out to fix it. Yeah, so I think it's a good idea.
But Kwame, also with the backdrop of what we've just spoken about and the deposit scheme, I know also of the tenant's liability insurance. Now, do you tend to come across with landlords that do get this insurance in place?
Yeah, I mean, of course, at the same time, if you're a landlord, you also have to make sure that you insure the tenants with the property.
Yes.
Within your property to the tenant. You have to make sure you insure because anything can happen.
Sure.
The tenant could lose the job. The tenant can be sick, and then of course the rent has to be paid. So then that's the chances the insurance people has to take. That's the chance the landlord also has to take.
Right.
Well, so yeah, I mean, it's safety for the landlord to make sure you insure the tenant, and for a tenant, for the landlord also to make sure they insure, to make sure they do the insurance for the tenant.
Yeah.
Your tenant has to meet the criteria.
The criteria.
He has to meet all the standards. Because no insurance company will also take you on if they're not sure about the information you provided.
Yeah, I think, to add into that, I think that's more...
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does. I mean, and also I believe the tenancy or the tenant's liability insurance tends to also protect the tenant more, because I believe you can even get, I mean, from my own research, you can get some as cheap as I think £10 a month to protect you, the tenant, so that in case of any repairs or anything, you are safe and sound, and than getting a large bill at the end of your tenancy. You know.
Well, only if the tenant is conscious of it. Only if the tenant is if the tenant is conscious of it,
right?
You have to go through all of that. But some tenants don't really care about those things because they don't even think about taking care of the property in the first place.
Yeah, and I think it's more of the landlord.
They will not be bothered to insure it, to even to spend £10 extra. But it depends. Of course, you have good tenants also, and then.
Right. Let's come to landlords.
Okay.
There. I mean, couple of tenants. I mean, by a bit of experience, that some tenants have complained as in the landlords trying to pinpoint and trying to come up with all sort of excuses about damage to their properties, which some of them are not visible, and trying to make up and all those stuff. I know that most of you as estate agents do tend to do an inventory before and after the tenancy, and some landlord will try as much to push to get squeeze every penny out of the tenant. Do you encounter scenarios like that or stories like that?
Oh yeah, no, I do. Of course, I mean,
right.
It's both sides. It's both tenant and landlord.
Yeah.
Both sides. Of course, there are landlords who don't want to spend money at all in the property. You know, you get landlords that just don't want to do anything with the property. They just want to collect the rent. They don't care.
Right.
And then with those ones, there's a big problem with the council finds that this is what they've done. It's not very good. And of course, there are tenants that some tenants are also very, very extremely dirty. Extremely. You know, I just did one house now. Yeah, you should see the house, the state of the house. Yeah. So basically, it's both sides. But my experience with this business, if I will be honest.
Yeah.
I've met a couple of. It's a bit sensitive, but of course, I met a couple of landlords that genuinely want to make sure the tenants are really comfortable.
Sure.
And then the tenant, of course, will also pay the rent comfortable.
Exactly.
And I've met landlords also that the way the state of the property, even me as an agent,
yeah,
you can't even go and just tell the landlord and say, you know what, just do it. Go and do the property because it's like he hasn't even said anything, but you already know what he's going to say. So you just leave it. All right. So
Right.
most of it, then if he carries on, then I keep it up because I don't want to go with the council. You see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's both ways. It's both ways. I mean, as an agent, of course, my work as an agent, I'm in between the tenant and the landlord.
Yes.
All right. So
yeah, you are.
So, I've seen worse landlords. I've seen worse tenants. You see, I've seen worse tenants. So, and I think it's because we are not aware, or maybe the landlords and the tenants are not aware of the legislations and the laws and their rights and things like that. That's what it is. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So it's important that we address these issues where people understand the law, the tenants will understand their rights, the landlord will understand their rights, especially in our community.
Mm.
And then I think everything will be fine.
Okay. Kwame, moving away a little bit from that. Okay. It's also still surrounds the same bits and pieces. Now, I've seen certain adverts on social media where some companies are coming up with, if you happen to see, if you have you're in that's got to do with the council though, but I'm not too sure if it does apply to private rentals, as in they run adverts like if your house has got dump and and the council has not attended to, they can claim for you. Now, do you experience that? And is the tenant or tenants, can they also take the same route against their landlords? If somebody is in a house that is in a bad state, it's like dump.
The tenant has rights. All the tenant has to do is just go on the internet and just type right to rent, tenant right to rent.
Right to rent.
And then also find right to rent and find a bit of information on your right. It's both ways. Some landlords will just see dump in the property and then ignore it, and the tenant will just be in a dark place. Some places are really dumpy. I've seen a lot of houses. Yeah, the dumpy. So then the tenant, if the tenant knows their right, they'll just have to report to the council, maybe write to the council. Well, you don't just have to do it. You speak to the landlord, and if the landlord doesn't do anything, and as you can see, the place is dumpy.
Yeah.
And for a tenant to call for a tenant to say, okay, fine, the place is dumpy, I'm going to call the council. Then of course, it must be really dumpy.
Okay.
It must be really dumpy. So there's issues like that. So the main thing is the tenant has to confront the landlord or the agent who is responsible, and then get it addressed. If not, the agent or the landlord doesn't apply anything, then of course the tenant has right to go to the council or write to the council, and then they can take action against the landlord.
Okay. I've got. Yeah. Okay. I've got a question here where the listener is saying that he says, I've rented a 2-bedroom house, and I had a friend that is looking for accommodation temporarily, but the friend is not going to live with this person, I mean, forever or for years.
Yeah.
Now, as a good tenant, he informed the landlord. Then the landlord said, you can't take a lodger. Is it in the tenant's right to be able to do that, to take a lodger?
The tenant also always have to read the contract.
Right.
Don't just get a contract and just sign it. Make sure you read the contract. If the landlord has actually put it inside the contract.
Yes.
Then then you can't bring somebody in. But on a realistic sense, it's normal for me to have a place and then expect maybe have a visitor or something. You can't say I can't have a visitor. Then again, if the lodger is actually coming in there, how long is the lodger going to stay? That's another thing also.
Okay.
Right? Some landlord will consider, most landlord will consider and say, look, I've got somebody, I've got a friend, I've got a sister that's stranded, maybe you just want to be with me for a month.
Mm.
People would be reasonable with that. For 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they can cope. But when it's going on like 6 months, then of course we can talk about either the person moving out or is the person going to pay extra rent.
Right. Okay.
Let me come in there before you go on.
Okay, go on.
I think there are two words here that are, probably mixing up. A lodger is different from a visitor. When you say a lodger,
I really can't.
oh, sorry, you can't hear me. That's the problem. Anyway, what I'm saying is that if you can say that it's different between a lodger and a visitor. When you say a lodger, it's different. But if you're visiting, that's a different thing entirely. So visitors can be allowed, but a lodger then it becomes something different. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you can't hear me though, but yeah.
Kwame, did you hear that?
No, you can't hear me.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not a word.
Right. Okay. He was saying that he was trying to explain the difference between a lodger and also a visitor.
Yeah.
So that was what he was trying to explain. But basically, a visitor comes for a couple of days, but a lodger can stay for up to maybe 6 months,
2 years.
2 years. So
lodger, somebody's lodging, yeah. As long as you have set the person to lodge, then the person will depend on what's there. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. It depends on the landlord and the tenant. If you have a relationship with the landlord, then I'm sure the landlord will consider. But most landlords, or a few landlords that I've known, if they think about their property more than. It's not like they don't care about people. No, that's not the point. They feel like the more people in the house, of course, the more problem the house, the more problem you have in the house.
Yeah.
So then they rather stick to either 2 people, 3 people, or whatever. But at the end of the day, well, the council also, of course, it is in the legislation that every property has to have amount of people in there. Let's say, for instance, 1 bedroom flat, for example.
Yeah.
I think the max should be at least 3 people. 1 bedroom flat, 2 bedrooms, so they've arranged it like that. And some landlords are really cautious on that one. So if the council is saying 3, then of course you have to put 3. It can't be 4. So if you come to the landlord like that and tell the landlord and say, look, I've got a lodger, so definitely tell you no.
Okay. So
because they can't break the law,
Right. Okay. Listeners, tonight we're still talking about tenants, tenancy and landlords, and tonight we have no other than Mr. Kwame J, an estate agent, and also he doesn't want to be addressed as the CEO.
I'm just a normal. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
So he managed and leads DJY Services Limited. It's a company that is into properties, sales, lettings, and management, and also international property as well, real estate. So we'll be talking briefly about international real estate in Africa, and tonight we have him. So if you want to join us on this discussion, the lines will be open in the next 10 minutes. The phone lines will be open, and you can call in on 0208-133-2257 or 0208-133-2258. Or if you call in from the US, you can reach us on 001-718-303-2737. If you want to WhatsApp, send a WhatsApp, you can do it on 07539-661744 or on Twitter at Starr Radio UK. And if you want to listen to us and you're in the US, dial to listen number is 001-518-518-518. 4006096. Let me check that again. Dial to listen number if you are in the US or Canada is 001-518-400-6069. And tonight we are privileged. We have a very experienced man, a very humble man. I've known him to be, and he's helping us and our listeners with regard to some questions and issues surrounding tenant and tenancy, and also landlords as well. Now, Kwame, let's come back briefly to international properties.
Okay.
What do you do when it comes to that international property?
Basically, I'm still an agent
Okay.
between the buyer and the seller.
Okay.
Basically.
Right.
Well, the reason why I even joined to do that is because there's been demand.
Okay.
That is one. But the actual sense is people. I mean, we're living in the UK here, and somebody's selling a property in Ghana. Sometimes the trust between us over here and over there is really large, because you never know who wants to
Who to trust and all
use
that stuff.
your money for something else,
Sure.
So I decided to bridge that gap.
Okay.
Bridge that gap in between them and the developers in Ghana. So I had to really carefully choose who I want to be working with, because anything goes wrong, then it's no good. So I had to choose one. So basically, what we do is selling the houses because and flats.
Right.
We now building community gated properties.
Okay.
Where people in a very good area, it's like Accra is developing already, the way it is. So we have it in a really good area, because after working so hard in this country, you want to go to Ghana and then rest.
Sure.
Because we also give ourselves the torment of trying to build our own house and buying the land, and going through all this problem, which I have been a victim of that.
Right. Okay.
Where people take your money and things like that. So that's when we've come out with different methods where people can actually buy, through mortgages and then things like that. We have different structures of payment where they can pay installments slowly, and then you finish it. Because what people don't realize is sometimes when you buy the land, and it's good to buy the land, and then trying to build a house you really want is nice, but not when you're still living in this country and the house is just sitting there. It doesn't make any sense. So it's better to buy decent flat, rent it out, whatever. When you're ready.
We're in this country. Sorry to interrupt you, but we in this country, nobody's built a house. I mean, a few people under 1% have been able to build a house here, but we still buy. So what you're saying makes sense, and basically your job is to facilitate people between, as you said, the gap between the developers and also the buyer. The buyer.
Sorry, let me try. Can you hear me now? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Okay.
I can hear him, but
It's very far, yeah.
Go ahead then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. You can go on if there's something that you can go on.
No, because I want to find out for him to say a little bit about the property market. He works in Ghana, so what's the property industry there? How buoyant this is going? Are people really looking to buy from UK? Because I know there's a lot of interest in Nigerian property. So the question is that how is the Ghana property market like? How is the interest from people in diaspora? You can't hear me. Maybe you have to say that to me.
Okay. My co-host is trying to Kwame. He's trying to find out how big the market is. How's the market doing in terms of property development and the market? If I'm right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's what Nate's trying to find out. Basically, you deal with Ghana at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's Ghana basically, and I mean that's the question. I have another question, but if you want to answer that, then we can tackle the second one that I had.
Okay. All right. Cool. The market in Ghana in terms of businesses is really good. As we know, we are aware that people are building. There's always developers everywhere. You know.
Sure.
I personally think it's good for the country.
Yeah.
And people are now beginning to wake up and invest in buildings. You know, I'm talking about real buildings where, you know, the challenge is actually really great. You know, just 2 months ago we did an exhibition where, you know, usually there will be like 5 developers that will come here and just promote their businesses. This time there was really, you know, a lot of them actually. So you can see that people are still, and these are not the old people that I perhaps maybe I used to know. These
Yeah.
are old, new, fresh people, fresh young guys coming in there and then doing a promotion. It's really exciting to see that. In terms of buildings and individual people, what individuals are trying to do in Ghana, there, I think it's positive. Yeah.
Right. So the exhibition took place in London. Oh.
It did. We actually went to. I think we were at Croydon actually.
Croydon. Oh my days.
We came to Croydon. There's a place. I can't remember the name.
We missed you guys. It would have been lovely to at least interrupt
Yeah.
and get to know. Okay, that's fine. We'll mark it out. We'll mark it out on our calendar if it's going to happen again in the near future. So right.
Yeah. So basically, that's it. It's really interesting to see people jumping on board and trying to strategize.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to strategize how they can actually sell it, how they can actually make it simple.
Sure.
For people over here to also to invest in that, you know, that sort of stuff, just to get your mind back where you have the house. You know, even if you're not living in the house, you can rent it out or whatever. You know, those simple things. I think it's really good.
Okay. I mean, you just mentioned something that I want to pull you back to it now. We have this perception in our community that people tend to either go and build or buy and say, "Oh yeah, this my property." Now, as compared to what we know over here, that somebody will go to Spain and buy, or Greece or Cyprus, and then it's their home, but then it's a holiday home. So the rest of the year that they are not there, it's being rented out. Now, is that something that you're campaigning on, or trying to sort of get people's mind drawn to it?
Well, I mean, it's the same like this country. People are investing in properties. Why?
Sure.
Because property always adds value. So investing in property is actually really the wise. Doesn't really matter because property is everywhere in this world. Everybody's looking for a place to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a place to sleep, a place, you know, because without a place to lay your head, then of course. So it is I think it's a positive place to invest. If you can buy the houses and then you can then rent them out. You know, the house is still there. The house don't rot. You know, you can only do a few maintenance on it.
Sure.
You know, still there. You know, so you know the point is people over here we make money. We make money. Some people make money all right. But they don't get anything on the money they make. It still stays the same. Yeah, and the money just stay in one place. Yeah, it's better you actually invest it. For instance, you buy a house in town and now somebody is actually rent the house out. You're not living in there. The person's paying a mortgage for you.
Sure.
The person's paying a mortgage for you. It's still the same.
Okay.
Go on. Sorry.
Go on, Kwame. We just fast approaching the hour, on top of the hour.
Okay.
But you were going to say something. Please do go ahead.
I think what I wanted to say is if people are not thinking now about maybe investing in properties in Ghana, I think they should really consider.
Right.
I think they should consider, especially when you know that you're not picking up your own big money to actually purchase the house. That you can pay the house installments.
Yeah.
Then I think it's something that we should look at. Look at how much money we spend on the street. We spend on the street each day. £10 here, £10 there, £5 there, £5 there. Buying drinks and things like that. We just waste it without even thinking about it. But those same amounts can actually be put down on the mortgage for you in Ghana.
Okay.
It's just what we are talking about. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, in a nutshell, your advice is better to at least to grab a place of your own back home. And my other question is, if currently you're an agent, is it for one company or a couple of them? And also, are you looking to other African countries or?
Well, of course, that is the whole idea. Where we, as I said, I'm actually just a mediator between the landlord and the buyer. I'm in between, so it doesn't matter wherever you're from, and you want me to sell your house. I think I'll do the same thing. The only thing is just we sit down and plan things properly. Transparency. Everything is just plain on the thing. What we need to do. And then that's it.
Okay.
I'll advertise for you. So just I don't personally want to restrict myself to Ghana only. Personally, I don't.
Right.
Yes. I think it is wise that we restrict ourselves. So yes, there's if anybody out there.
Kwame, I asked that.
Want us to start somewhere we can do.
Yeah, I asked that because you never know. Maybe a developer might be listening, and they're based in Nigeria or Liberia or Angola or Burkina Faso, and they want to contact you. They want to sort of also get you to be sort of doing some sales for them. So that's why I asked that question.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy to work with anybody else, because, as I said, I've been saying it's about time that we begin to work together.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. We've got about less than 5 minutes to the top of the hour, and listeners, tonight we've been talking to Mr. Kwame Ajay. He is the CEO of DJY Services Limited, a company based in East London. They are into sales, lettings, and management. So, if it's a free advert for Mr. Kwame Ajay, if you happen to have a portfolio, he's ready to manage, and he's a good salesman as well when it comes to properties as well. So, great stuff. He's based in East London on the Leytonstone High Street. High Road, or Leytonstone High Road. And if you want to reach him, his phone numbers are, office number is 0208 627 9585. 0208 627.
I think it's oh, sorry, I think I probably wrote it wrong. It's 0208 617 9585.
Okay, so come again.
0208.
Yes, 0208
617 617
617
9585.
85. And on the mobile, you can reach him on 079 400 22742. 079 400 22742. So that's Mr. Kwame Ejay, that we've had on the program tonight, and we are more than privileged to have him. It's been a great time. We've picked so many nuggets from him. He's such a humble man, and even you can discern that from the way he talks as well. So we're about 2 minutes to the top of the hour. But before we go, Mr. J, what are your last words for our listeners, and also for everyone listening to you?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me just say this a little bit. Just like 1 minute. Okay. My experience in this estate agent business is I have not had support.
Right.
Okay, from my people.
Right.
When I say I've not had support in terms of me being an estate agent in London here, I boldly will say that I've not had support. From my own people, in terms
right.
of landlords. Okay, all the landlords I have are different kind of race, and
right.
I don't think that's fair. I think people should see. There are times to ask and there are times to demand. This time I'm actually demanding, from my own people, because there's no point. I can do the same thing anybody else can do.
Sure.
All right. So you should try and just at least look my way a little bit. That is one, and the next one is I really, really thank you also for really helping me. I think I've had a really, really wonderful time, and I'm looking forward
right.
to sort of.
We'll be getting you into the studio. Don't worry.
If it is okay with you.
Yes, we'll be getting you into the studio, and also one of our. We're looking for sponsors as well. So if you happen to,
okay.
we reach far and near, and so our listenership is growing by the week, by the day.
Yeah.
So we cut across the African continent and to other areas that you might never imagine. If I'm to give you the statistics on air, it's phenomenal. So we're open to sponsors, and you're open to come and advertise as well. But then we're looking to host you and to get you into the studio one of those days, pretty soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, we always have to practice what we preach, don't we?
That's great, and thanks for coming on, and we are more than grateful to have you. And young and vibrant men like yourselves we're more than happy to push entrepreneurs like you, and push what you're doing to make sure that that we're making a difference in our community, and also not just our community but across board, and transform lives as well, because it's very, very important that people like yourselves can that you see. My brother here will bear with me that one of our goals for this particular program is that we can turn to the youth and against that kind of crime of gun and knife crime. There's so much opportunity and opportunities in property that we are not harnessing, and I believe that if we join forces together, we can hold events and also seminars, and also direct all the traffic from the streets onto the property market and business, where we get our youth and our young ones that are on the street and do not know the direction they have to go. We can get them together and push. And we have an event coming up, and we believe that we'll be giving the date out pretty soon, where we can converge, and under one umbrella we will then set our plans and programs to run for our youth, because this is an industry that is worth billions of pounds, and I believe that we can help also with our little help to help the government tackle these gun and knife crime because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. So I believe there's so much to do. So
It's very. Can I just chip in just 1 minute here? So if you
sure.
don't mind, sorry. Okay, this is my own personal experience right now. I'm in the office, all right,
Yes.
sitting in the office, minding my own business, trying to see who I can. Okay, then I'm there. A certain young man at the age of around, I think he's 20 actually, but he's actually a bit smallish.
Right.
He just barged into the office like that,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
And once I was actually in the office with him, the way he came in, uncle, I said, what's wrong? As I was there with him, just a couple of seconds, some like this little youth also came out with a bag, three youth. You can see, actually, no, there was four of them. You can see that two of them were reasonable to talk to, and you can see that the other two were more like horrible. So I asked them, why are they chasing him?
Right.
And now they're saying that he looked at them and he started running.
Oh my.
And they don't understand why he is running.
So that's why.
They wanted to kill this boy because he saw them and he was running. You see, it doesn't make any sense. So then, of course, I had to talk to them, and then they had to go. So I can understand what you're saying about protecting the youth and things like that. I just wanted to chip that in there. I think it's a positive way to go.
Sure. And I believe tonight it's been more fruitful, and it's been just that my brother, his voice has been restricted a bit.
I know.
But
It would have been a nice conversation, but yeah.
but it's been good. It's been good, and we've loved every bit of it tonight. I believe together we can help tackle that gun and knife crime, and not just the charities, but then what we can do as businesses and entrepreneurs to help move the traffic from the streets. And I mean, my personal experience last night, I was trying to get a pizza by the roadside, but I think after work also. And to be quite honest, what I saw, I was frightened. About let's say about 12 to 13 youths, and all that they were doing was drinking and smoking and just playing. I mean, what they were doing at in front of the Pizza Hut delivery, what they were doing, my heart was bleeding in the sense that they were more as to one of them. I stood there for about almost 15 minutes waiting for the pizza, and one of them said, "Uncle, are you an informant for the police?" And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Are you sure? Because you've been here for far too long. Should we come?"
Really?
I'm telling you, this is just last night. So, if I had to engage one of them, and I was talking to him about what he was doing there, and he said, "You know what? This is where I've got to be." And I realized that there's job for us to do. We can use our businesses to help direct the traffic from the streets. Let's do a little, and we together we can do much. So Kwame, our time is fast spent, and I know it's past 10 now. We've got business for tomorrow as well. So we thank you once again for coming on.
No, it's a pleasure.
And I believe that you also look into it. The advert will give you a good package. We talk to the bosses. Yes.
Well, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, and thank you so much. Tonight we've been listening to Mr. Kwame Ajay. He is the CEO of DJY Services Limited. It's a sales, letting, and management, property management company based in Leytonstone High Street. And we've been talking about tenants and tenancy, and also landlords. And thank you for listening to us tonight. Our faithful friend, brother Niyi Ajay in the hot seat. And tonight it's been good. I'm KBA Bossman. Thank you. We're coming your way next week. Big bang. Look out for it, and spread the news. Thank you. God bless. Nothing less. No stress. God willing, we'll be here next week. Thank you.
waste money more than people who are at the top. So not only are you not catching up, you're not even thinking about trying to catch up.
This is good, and we got 1,000 questions, and we know you got a flight. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. No problem.
One fat, meat, juicy point. What would it be before you go?
I would say that we have to build our own schools. Everything we're talking about, the only way it becomes normalized, the only way it becomes a part of the collective black consciousness is if the children are raised with it as a group. Remember, all progress is group work. It's teamwork. That means we need all the children in Jackson to be taught the principles of financial empowerment. All the children of Jackson to be taught how to eat healthy. All the children of Jackson to understand what black family means and why it's so important. Until then, it's just a specialty. As we spoke earlier, diet being a specialty, wealth is a specialty. Think about it. If you're black and you're in the know about money, in the laws of finance, you are a specialty. You are an eccentricity. You are an oddity. That's a problem. Because for white people, gaining wealth is a regular part of their everyday conversation. Even poor white people are regularly talking about wealth. Black people don't discuss wealth at all. We have to move it from the marginalized status it has and make it a mainstream topic of conversation.
Is there an answer? I know you can't just drop a 2-second answer.
No. Here's what I would say with the unity. Again, unity has to be incorporated into the collective consciousness, which means children have to be socialized to unite with one another. Remember, our kids are socialized to disunite. As a principal, right? I've had first graders, 6 and 7, talking about how black your skin is, how cheap your clothes is, how nappy your hair. You're 6. This your first year in school. How do you know all this? The parents. We are teaching our kids to be Negroes. So the only way you're going to undo that is to teach them to be Africans, which is why I want my school to be residential. Because I know sending them back to the same house that created the illness after school is going to undo everything I do from 8 to 3. You got the kids for 16 hours. I got them for 8. I can't win because the brain is the creature of repetition. Whoever gets to this the most will rule it. What did Adolf Hitler say? Come up with a lie, keep on telling the lie, be consistent with it. It ain't got to be the truth. But the brain cannot resist the temptation to believe something that is regularly presented before it. Repetition wins. We give our kids the white folks for the first 18 years of their life, then we want to remake them into Africans for the rest of their life. That's ridiculous. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. We give that to white people. And then when they turn 21, they already have habituated. They already have a personality. They already got hard habits. And now we want to re-Africanize them. Who does that? What people have ever gotten free, giving the best years of their children to their oppressor and manipulator?